afternoon once again, and welcome to the virtual public hearing of the Commission on Judicial Appointments. As Chief Justice of California, I serve as chair of the commission, and the other members of the commission are Attorney General Rob Bonta and Presiding Justice Arthur Gilbert. Janelle Baker serves as secretary to the commission. This hearing is to consider Governor Gavin Newsom's appointment of Judge Mark Hanasono to the Office of Associate Justice with the Second District Court of Appeal, Division 3. The commission is in receipt of a letter from Governor Newsom appointing Judge Hanasono to fill a vacancy created by the retirement of Justice Louis A. Lavin. The state constitution specifies that an appointment by the governor to the Court of Appeal is effective when confirmed by the Commission on Judicial Appointment. We received correspondence pertaining to this appointment and made these letters available to the press and to the public a few days ago. Pursuant to a request by Governor Newsom, the State Bar's Commission on Judicial Nominees Evaluation has undertaken an evaluation of the qualifications of Judge Hanasono for this position. Ms. Lorena Peñalosa, chair of the Jenny Commission, is with us today to share the results of that evaluation later in the proceedings. The rules of the Commission on Judicial Appointments permit it to preclude testimony that is cumulative. Rather than deny any of the requests to testify, the Commission will be providing each witness with 3 to 5 minutes to testify, with the exception of the testimony of the nominee and the Jenny Commission chair. The speakers also had a right to submit their views in writing to the Commission on Judicial Appointment. At this time, I will list the speakers that were invited to speak in support of Judge Hanasono first, and then call on these two speakers to come to the podium in the following order. First, the Honorable Lee Edmon, Associate Justice with the Second District Court of Appeal, Division 3, and the Honorable David Fields, a judge of the Superior Court of California for the County of Los Angeles. We first invite Justice Edmon to the podium.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chief Justice Guerrero, Attorney General Bonta, and Presiding Justice Gilbert. I am honored to appear before you today to testify in support of the confirmation of the Honorable Mark Hanasono to serve as a justice in Division 3 of the Second Appellate District. My colleagues, Justice Ann Edgerton and Rashida Adams, as well as many other members of our chamber's staff, are here today to show 100% support of Division 3 for this appointment. We all agree Governor Newsom, with the help of Secretary Cespedes, has made an exceptional choice in appointing Judge Hanasono. And after having had a vacancy for almost a year now, we can't wait to start working with him. First, Judge Hanasono is an undeniably brilliant jurist. He graduated Phi Beta Kappa from UC Berkeley and then got his law degree from Georgetown Law School. After law school, he returned to LA and joined the Public Defender's Office, and then moved to the alternate Public Defender's Office, where he quickly rose through the ranks to become the highest grade of APDs, representing indigent defendants in felony cases, including death penalty cases, and was a team leader supervising other felony trial attorneys. He received many awards from the APD's office for handling complex felony and homicide trials. After 13 years of the highest levels of criminal practice, Judge Hanasono was appointed by Governor Jerry Brown to the Los Angeles Superior Court, where the court had the good sense to assign him to a criminal courtroom. I think our colleague Judge David Fields will be speaking about his many contributions to the Superior Court. I will simply say that Judge Hanasono is held in the highest esteem by his colleagues and is uniformly respected as a careful, wise judge, skilled courtroom manager, and trusted colleague who treats everyone with respect. Fortunately, the Superior Court's loss will be the Court of Appeal's gain. Probably the only benefit of having vacancies on the Court of Appeal is the opportunity to work with terrific pro tems. And Judge Hanasono served with us on Division 3 as a pro tem for 7 months during 2019 and 2020. Under what I think you will all agree are the most difficult conditions for a pro tem, with absolutely no research attorney support, writing all of his own opinions. Let's just say he was a real lifesaver. Then, when our most recent vacancy arose last year, we called on him again for help. Once again, without any research attorney support. And for some reason, he agreed to do it. During the time Judge Hanasono worked with us, he personally authored 26 opinions and served on panels with other justices on dozens more. It was an absolute delight to work with him. He helped us work through difficult legal issues and brought good judgment to bear on all of our decisions. He has a practical understanding and appreciation of what trial courts do and how trials actually unfold, important qualities for an appellate justice. And he clearly demonstrated the collegial skills necessary for an appellate assignment. In talking through issues, he expressed his own views clearly, but also listened and considered the views of others, sometimes reconsidering his initial views when the facts and law warranted doing so. He truly was a pleasure to work with. It was a great glimpse into the fun awaiting Division 3, and he will be an outstanding addition to the Court of Appeal. But on a more personal note, I would be remiss if I did not mention Mark's family story, which really helps define the person of great character, integrity, humility, and kindness that he is today. Both of Mark's parents were children of Japanese ancestry during World War II. His mother was incarcerated at the Manzanar War Relocation Center. Her father was taken away from Manzanar, separated from the rest of the family for the entire war, and incarcerated at the infamous Toole Lake Relocation Center when it was converted into a segregation center for the more than 12,000 dissidents who either refused to answer or were considered to give the wrong answers to the loyalty questionnaire, and as a result suffered truly horrendous treatment and conditions. During the war, Judge Hanasono's father's family, who had been in the U.S. since the 1890s, was forced to sell their family farm in Gilroy, California, and evacuated to Colorado, where they had to register with the Denver Police Department when they arrived. After the war, Mark's parents' families ultimately moved back to LA, where his mom and dad met at UCLA. Intent on providing a better life for his family, Mark's father went to law school at night while working as a CPA by day. Mark describes his father as embodying integrity and humility and instilled in him the need to never fear doing the right thing and to always keep his word. Sadly, Mark's dad passed away only a couple months ago, but he is undoubtedly here with us in spirit. Judge Hanasono's parents' difficulties, their loss of freedom and rights as citizens, sparked a desire in him to see justice done and motivated him to go to law school and pursue a career in defending the marginalized and underrepresented. Judge Hanasono's wife, Merlin, immigrated from Guatemala at age 5 with her mother. Merlin knew no English when she arrived. She later graduated from UCLA, went to law school, became a sole practitioner in family law, immigration, and probate. And Mark's devotion to his family certainly extends to his 2 adorable sons, Luke, now age 4, and Max, who is 2. My colleagues and I have great memories of so many lunches with Judge Hanasono, with him passing around his iPhone with the latest photos of the kids. We are so happy that we will now get to see those photos every day. Mark is a lovely person with a good sense of humor who is constantly interested in learning and doing new things. Hopefully, you will have a chance to get to know that side of him and see all the photos once he starts this new chapter in his career on the Court of Appeal. Thank you for considering my testimony. I'd be pleased to answer any questions the panel may have.
Thank you, Presiding Justice Edmond. I apologize, I messed up your title earlier today. It was not intentional. I thank you for your, as always, very helpful remarks about the compelling professional background and also the personal history for Judge Hanasono. Thank you. We next invite to the podium Judge Fields.
Chief Justice Guerrero, Attorney General Bonta, Presiding Justice Gilbert, I'm honored to stand before you today to lend my enthusiastic support for the nomination of my good friend, Mark Hanasono, for Associate Justice of the California Court of Appeal, Second Appellate District, Division III. I first met Mark in January 2014, shortly after his appointment to the bench, when the court assigned Mark to Department 45, a misdemeanor trial court on the 7th floor of the Clara Shortridge Foltz Criminal Justice Center, just down the street from where we are today. At that time, I presided in Department 46, another misdemeanor trial court right next door. The judges' chambers for Departments 45 and 46 are not only next door to each other, but the only two judges' chambers on a very short hallway. So, for better or worse, the judges in Departments 45 and 46 will see each other often. For me, having Mark as my neighbor allowed me to befriend one of the best people I have ever met. I could say that we first bonded over the law or in our role as judges, but looking back on it, I would say it was tennis. For a number of years, once a week after court, Mark and I played tennis on a local public court. Well, I realize we are not here for tennis. You should know, Mark is an excellent tennis player. In fact, Mark is an outstanding nominee for the Court of Appeal. For some of the same reasons, he is an excellent tennis player. Great skill, much experience, and an unyielding devotion to craft. And he is very good at judging line calls. Shortly after meeting Mark, I realized he was very bright, had a great knowledge of the law, and outstanding judgment. Ever since I met Mark back in 2014, he has been a great resource for me, whether it be a legal question or a judgment call I have to make in a particular case. And for the past 11 years, knowing I have Mark to call upon for advice has been of great comfort and has certainly made me a better judicial officer. Fortunately for the court, Mark's advice has not been limited to me. Other judges routinely call him with questions, and he has made numerous judicial education presentations to Los Angeles Superior Court judges and judges throughout the state on a variety of topics ranging from felony sentencing to evidence. Currently, Mark teaches a class to judicial externs at UCLA Law School. He's been kind enough to invite me as a guest speaker in 2 different semesters. And at each of my talks, I told the class, my most important advice to you is listen to Judge Hanasono's advice. You will not go wrong. Following Mark's first assignment in Department 45 as a misdemeanor trial judge, he advanced rapidly. The talent I initially recognized became quite apparent to the supervising and presiding judges of the Los Angeles Superior Court. By November 2018, less than 5 years after his appointment, Mark was named Assistant Supervising Judge for Limited Jurisdiction, putting him in charge of preliminary hearing courts and misdemeanor trial courts, a great amount of responsibility for such a young judge. Remarkably, 2 years later in November 2020, now less than 7 years after his appointment, Mark was named Assistant Supervising Judge for General Jurisdiction, essentially making Mark second in command for the Criminal Division of the Los Angeles Superior Court. As Assistant Supervising Judge, Mark had a leading role in devising and implementing policy for the Criminal Division and supervised felony trial courts. Having excelled on the Los Angeles Superior Court, Governor Gavin Newsom has wisely nominated Mark to the Court of Appeal, the reason we are all here today. In an article entitled Empathetic Judging and the Rule of Law by Professor Susan Bandis, a professor at the DePaul University College of Law, she cites to now retired United States Circuit Judge for the Seventh Circuit, Richard Posner, regarding the necessity of judges having good judgment. I believe what Judge Posner has to say applies directly to Mark. Professor Bandis writes, Posner argues that when faced with legal questions lacking determinative answers, judges need to consult good judgment, which he defines as an elusive faculty best understood as a compound of empathy, modesty, maturity, a sense of proportion, balance, a recognition of human limitations, sanity, prudence, a sense of reality, and common sense. Mark has an abundance of these qualities. In addition to an outstanding intellect, he is empathetic, humble, balanced, prudent, and has great common sense. I fully expect that when confirmed as a justice for the California Court of Appeal, Mark will make significant contributions to the development of the law in our state. Mark will faithfully follow and interpret the law. United States Supreme Court Justice Potter Stewart said in 1981, "The mark of a good justice or a good judge is a judge whose opinion you can read, and after you've read that opinion, you have no idea if the judge was a man or a woman, Republican or Democrat, a Christian or a Jew, and if a Christian, a Protestant, or a Catholic. You just know he or she was a good judge." He went on to say, "I think a judge's job is to be objective and conscientious and diligent, and remember always that every human being is equal before the law." I have no doubt that Mark will heed the words of Justice Stewart. As a person of great integrity, possessing a strong work ethic, and a keen sense of what is just, Mark will make an outstanding Court of Appeal justice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge Fields, for highlighting the characteristics that you believe will make Judge Hanasono qualified for this position. We appreciate your feedback. In addition to the foregoing witnesses who were invited by the nominee to testify, Mr. Jimmy Bladimir Mendoza has submitted a letter to the Commission requesting to testify in opposition to this nomination. We invite him to testify at this time. Mr. Mendoza? If he's present.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I don't think he's here today.
Okay, thank you. We do have his letter as part of the file. The Commission now invites the Chair of the Judicial Nominees Evaluation Commission, Ms. Lorena Peñalosa, for the report of the evaluation that was conducted by her commission.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chief Justice Guerrero, Attorney General Bonta, Presiding Justice Gilbert. I am honored to present this report on behalf of the Commission on Judicial Nominees Evaluation to summarize the basis of the Commission's rating of Judge Mark Hanasono for the Office of Associate Justice of the Court of Appeal, Second Appellate District, Division 3. The Jenny Commission conducted its evaluation of Judge Mark Hanasono in February 2025, unanimously finding him to be exceptionally well qualified for service on the Second District Court of Appeal. According to Commission rules, that rating reflects the Commission's determination that Judge Hanasono possesses quality and attributes of remarkable or extraordinary superiority that enable him to perform the appellate judicial function with distinction and is exceptionally well qualified for the appellate court. Judge Hanasono and his older brother were raised in Gardena and Torrance in Los Angeles County. His father, initially an accountant, went to law school at night and became a lawyer. His mother focused on managing and caring for the household. Japanese was his first language, as his mother only spoke Japanese. Both of his parents are of Japanese ancestry. During World War II, his mother was interned with her family at the Manzanar War Relocation Center, and his father was forced to relocate to from California to Colorado. Motivated by his parents' treatment during World War II, he pursued public interest law. He graduated summa cum laude as an English major from the University of California, Berkeley, and received his JD from Georgetown University Law Center. After his first year of law school, Judge Hanasono externed for United States District Court Judge Robert Takasugi, who encouraged him to become a public defender. As a result, the candidate returned home to Los Angeles County and served as a deputy public defender from 2000 to 2004, and a deputy alternate defender from 2004 to 2013. Initially uncomfortable with public speaking, he excelled at advocacy and received a number of awards as an alternate public defender. Judge Hanasono has been a judge of the Los Angeles County Superior Court for over 10 years, primarily assigned to the criminal division. When he was appointed in 2013 by Governor Jerry Brown, he served as an assistant supervising judge for general jurisdiction courts. Additionally, to assist with their criminal workload, he completed 2 stints as Associate Justice Pro Tem for the Second District Court of Appeal and authored 19 decisions. As a judge, Judge Hanasono has presided over serious criminal matters and has earned the utmost respect from district attorneys, public defenders, and the private defense bar for his fairness, thoughtfulness, respectfulness, and professionalism. He is an active member of several Los Angeles County Superior Court committees, such as the Civil Grand Juror Committee, Law Clerk Selection Committee, and the COVID-19 Working Group. In fact, he was honored with a leadership award for his contributions and role during the COVID-19 pandemic. Additionally, Judge Hanasono has been active in the broader legal community, writing articles and conducting trainings for local bar associations and judicial associations. He taught at Glendale College of Law and currently teaches at the University of California, Los Angeles School of Law. Judge Hanasono and his wife have 2 sons, Luke and Max, who occupy most of their free time and who have made some appearances here today. However, once a week, he does get the chance to play live ball, a fast-action version of tennis, and which we heard he's very good at. Judge Hanasono is described as humble, warm, engaging, and candid about his professional and personal life. It is clear he prioritizes his family while also displaying a strong work ethic required to meet his professional and teaching responsibilities. Additionally, his deep respect for his father, who told him to do the best with what he had with integrity, is readily apparent. He is effusive about his love for his role as a trial judge in the trenches every day and being the face of the judiciary for many. As Jenny Commission Chair, it is my honor and privilege to appear at the confirmation hearing of Mark Hanasono to testify as to the Commission's evaluation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Peñalosa, for your very helpful report and the work of your commission. We now invite Judge Hanasono to present a statement if you wish and to answer any questions the commission may have.
Chief Justice Guerrero, Attorney General Bonta, Presiding Justice Gilbert, it is an extraordinary honor to appear before this commission today. I'm humbled to be nominated by Governor Gavin Newsom for this position. I would like to thank my speakers, Presiding Justice Lee Edmon and Judge David Fields, as well as the Jenny Commission and Ms. Lorena Peñalosa and the Attorney General's Office for the reports submitted to this commission. I would finally like to thank those who submitted letters on my behalf, Justice Joanne Motoikia from the 4th District, Division 3, the California Asian Pacific American Judges Association, the Unity Bar, and the Japanese American Bar Association. I am prepared to submit on the record, adding only that if confirmed, I would remain committed to serving with fairness, making decisions grounded in the law, and being mindful of the real-life consequences of each case, as I have as a Superior Court judge. I am happy to answer any questions by the commission members.
Thank you, Judge Hanasono. I'll open it up for questions, starting first with the Attorney General.
Hi, Judge Hanasono. Grateful to have an opportunity to be part of this hearing today. What do you think are the most important qualities of an appellate justice?
Open-mindedness, because you're going to be working with other justices rather than being solo in a Superior Court setting. Fairness, of course, which would include integrity, being faithful to the law, and being disciplined. And I have come face to face with that during my 2 terms sitting pro tem. It's just you against the computer and Westlaw. Deadlines approaching. By the time you file one or get one ready to circulate, you have others waiting for you, cases to be put on calendar. There's an inventory growing. It never really stops, and something's got to keep you going. Love of the law, that intellectual curiosity would fuel that, I suppose. Enjoying problem solving, whatever it takes to be disciplined in getting the work done. I think that's important. So those would be the top 3 qualities.
Thank you.
Thank you, Presiding Justice Gilbert.
Are you ready?
1 minute for rebuttal.
Granted. So I was looking over your bio and your very impressive background. Once again, the appointment secretary, Luis Cespedes, and the governor did a marvelous job. So you can see but don't expect a love fest. So I noticed that you hated reading as a child, and yet you became an English major.
And here I am.
Well, guess what? I was an English major, and you were an English major at Berkeley, right?
I was.
Well, believe it or not, I went to graduate school in English literature at Berkeley after being in law school. And let me just tell you something. If you really want to kill your love of literature, go to graduate school. So what I really wanted to ask you, to what extent, if any, you're being an English major, you're studying literature, was there any particular area you concentrated on? I know as an undergraduate, it's a little different than graduate
American
school.
modernist.
Okay.
So Faulkner.
Wow, okay. To what degree do you think that informs your role as an appellate justice?
I think it goes directly to this idea of being disciplined and stimulating the intellectual curiosity. I learned early on that if I wanted to go to law school, I would have to major in something. It didn't matter what, but it would entail a lot of reading and writing. I enjoyed the writing part right away, or early on. It was the reading that killed me when I was a child. I just did not get a chance to read. My dad never read to me. That's why we try to read to our children now to get that love going. So I knew I had to read something. I had to read a lot. I might as well choose a major that where I would read something enjoyable and not dry. So literature, poetry, that got me going. And so with specific to Faulkner, Absalom was the book that I studied quite in depth. One of the chapters, chapter 5, the notorious chapter 5, is like dozens of pages, and I think it's one or two sentences. That's how Faulkner wrote. And we developed, some of the people in the classes that I took, the seminars that I took, developed a style of analysis called close reading. I don't think we developed it, but it was a style of analysis that we took to. Really trying to understand why a certain word was used, why a certain punctuation was in a certain place, and why names were different. The whole chapter is italicized. But this idea of close reading, really trying to understand what the prior author meant, is something that I really enjoy now, reading case law. And it really emphasizes the importance of writing clearly for those reading my work. At the end of the day, our cases that we write are being used by practitioners in the future and litigants and other judges. So we need to make them as helpful as possible.
In a paper I wrote, I said that the poet writes to understand, and that's fiction, but we're writing expository, which is a different form of communication. So we write to be understood. And there's a kind of a gap between the two, but I find in an ineffable way having a background in the arts and the humanities informs you as a justice in a far better way than not having that background. Sorry, this is my last hearing, so I'm going to expound. I really think that's important, and I've stressed that to the same classes I've taught at UCLA, externs, just like you have. Anyway, you're going to be a wonderful justice, and you have a very impressive background.
Thank you.
And I guess you know how I'm going to vote. I welcome you as a colleague.
Thank you.
Thank you, Presiding Justice Gilbert. I heard you say this is going to be your last hearing. That is news to me, and I'm sure Attorney General Bonta will disagree and vote against you on that motion.
Well, who knows? There could be other appointments before I say
I hope
goodbye.
so.
So
I hope so.
thank you.
Thank you. I just have a comment on your background, and it's not so much a question, but I noted that you have, and others have noted, that you have extensive experience in terms of criminal work, and that you practice in every area in criminal. And so I am sure you will have a lot to contribute based on that background. You did note in your submission as well that I believe that there has not been a prior public defender in the division that you're joining.
I think that's, in our division, that might be true. In the second district, that's no longer true.
In your division, perhaps, but do you think that that will inform the work that you do? And given that your focus has been criminal, are there other areas of the law that you're most interested in also expanding and learning about and writing about?
The way it was taught to me, one of the reasons I chose public defender work, Judge Takasugi, the federal judge for whom I externed quite some time ago, said if you are interested in criminal law, start with the defense, because you need to learn to be creative. And so the arguments that you make as a defense attorney, as one makes as a defense attorney, can be creative at times. And I think being able to address those creative arguments and consider fairly with an open mind those creative arguments, I think that will aid me for sure. Understanding what happened down below with my public defender background and trial court background, I think that will help me as well. The other areas of law, I'm interested in all the other areas of law. It's kind of a joke between one of the other pro tems and myself that we actually really enjoyed dependency law. And I think it's part of the reason is it's meaningful. The issues at stake are anytime children are at issue or part of the focus of the case, it's probably the most important type of case that we can handle. So it goes not just in dependency, but in family law. My wife does minors counsel work and court-appointed counsel work. So I've had a good taste of anecdotes from those cases. It's important that we take care of our future, so to speak. So yes, anything and everything I'm happy to do, but those would probably be the cases I'm most interested in.
Thank you for your response. I appreciate your enthusiasm and your dedication. And I think that we're all on board, but we do have to officially vote. This does complete the list of witnesses who are testifying here today. Are the members of the commission ready to vote at this time?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Thank you. All in favor of confirming Judge Mark Hanasono for this position, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. On this record and the correspondence received, the commission finds Justice Hanasono qualified to be an associate justice at the Second District Court of Appeal, Division 3, and confirms his appointment. Congratulations, Justice Hanasono. The formal portion of the hearing is adjourned. Again, I want to give everybody an opportunity to applaud, but you will have another opportunity. Justice Hanasono has asked me to administer his oath of office. The commission has completed the paperwork remotely, and so we can begin whenever Justice Hanasono is ready.
I think we're good.
Okay, thank you. First, is that Luke and Max? Is that correctly? If I heard correctly, I thank them too. And your wife, your whole family, and all your friends. Thank you. If you're ready now, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Mark Hanasono,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Thank you and congratulations. This concludes our paper hearing and welcome to those remarks.
So it's on. Can everyone hear me? All right, very good. I've taken the oath twice now. This is the third time, and I still can't quite get it right. This is the last time I'll be taking that oath. I would like to thank this commission, Chief Justice Guerrero, Attorney General Bonta, Presiding Justice Gilbert, Ms. Janelle Baker, and everyone else involved in convening this hearing, including Eva McClintock and Melissa Ceballos, the Highway Patrol officers, and others from the Second District. I'd like to congratulate Presiding Justice Zukin and Justice Tamzarian for their confirmations today. I look forward to working with them. I'd like to thank Governor Newsom for his nomination and thank Secretary Cespedes and Deputy Secretary Hoffman for seeing something in me worthy of this position and for their tireless efforts in reviewing my application, along with the Jenny Commission, Chair Lorena Peñalosa, and Commissioners Winnie Jin, Judge Andrew Kaufman, and Kevin Lau. I'd like to thank the Los Angeles County Bar's State Appellate Judicial Evaluation Committee and the Governor's Judicial Selection Advisory Committee for Los Angeles County. So, quick side note, since Max is on everyone's mind right now. When I got the call from the Jenny Commissioner, Miss Winnie Jin, I took the call in the car, and I didn't know it was her. I didn't know who was calling, and we were at a stoplight. Answered the call, she identified herself, said why she was calling, light turned green, and in the background you hear Max yelling, "Go, Daddy, go, go, go." I was mortified, much as I am today. But seriously, only those involved in the process, the judicial application process, really understand the incredible amount of work involved in vetting an applicant at each stage. So I'd like to thank all of those people and all of those entities, not only for the work done for me, but thank you for producing the judiciary for the state of California. I would like to thank Administrative Presiding Justice Elwood Louie for paving the way for Asian Pacific American jurists, as well as his support of my application and for the opportunities to sit pro tem. Thank you, Chief Justice Guerrero, for signing one of the orders approving my pro tem assignment. And thank you, Chief Justice Kantil Sakawe, for the other. Before I continue expressing my thanks, I need to say that I cannot overemphasize how lucky I am to be joining Division 3. It is a dream come true to be part of such an award-winning team of justices, attorneys, and judicial assistants and clerks. Thank you to Presiding Justice Lee Edmon, Justice Ann Edgerton, Justice Rashida Adams, as well as retired Justices Luis Lavin and Halim Donadina for making my pro tem assignments such satisfying experiences. I've learned so much from you already, and I'm excited to continue to learn. I want to express special gratitude to Presiding Justice Edmon. Thank you for being one of the biggest sources of courage for me to apply in the first place. To the entire Division 3 family, I look forward to sharing many wonderful years to come. Returning to the thank yous, I'd like to thank Dale Minami. As a student at Berkeley, I would have never believed that I would someday have the champion of the Japanese American people as a mentor and friend. I'd like to thank those who especially helped me keep my chin up during the process. Presiding Justice of Division 5, Brian Hofstadt, 4th District, Division 3, Justice Joanne Motoike, 1st District, Division 4, Presiding Justice Tracy Brown, Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Holly Fujie, got a promotion there. Judge David Fields, Judge Victoria Wilson, Judge Daniel Juarez, Judge Dean Hansel, Judge Dennis Landine, and Justice Audra Mori from Division 4. Pete Waymrin from the Alternate Public Defender's Office, Rob Kane from the Public Defender's Office, former Jenny Commissioner Christina Chung, and Hawaii Supreme Court Justice Sabrina McKenna. I'd like to thank the organizations that supported my application, the California Asian Pacific American Judges Association, especially San Joaquin Superior Court Judge Jane Lee, Los Angeles Superior Court Judges Terry Trong, Lee Sao, and Michelle An, Sacramento Superior Court Judge Richard Sueyoshi, 1st District Division 3 Justice Karen Fujisaki, and San Diego Superior Court Judge Marsha Amin. I'd like to thank the Unity Bar and all of its affiliates, especially JABA, and individually thank from JABA, Judge Mike Madokoro, Gary Tokumori, Emily Kuwahara, Colin Kawaguchi, Harumi Hata, and the rest of the Japanese American Bar Association Board of Governors. I'd like to thank the other justices in the 2nd District who provided advice and encouragement, Justice Natalie Stone, Presiding Justice Gonzalo Martinez, Presiding Justice Helen Zukin, and Justice Carl Moore. From the LA Superior Court leadership, I'd like to thank Presiding Judge Sergio Tapia, Assistant Presiding Judge Rick Ocampo, and Supervising Judge Yvette Verastegui. Thank you for your support and for working out the coverage while I sat pro tem. Thank you to all the judges at CCB, especially those on the 11th floor who covered for me while I sat pro tem. I'm honored to have served as a Superior Court judge with all my colleagues who are so dedicated to providing justice for our community. I'd like to thank former alternate public defender Janice Fukai for providing the much-needed nudge to submit my Superior Court application and her continued support over the years. Thank you to the many attorneys from the offices of the alternate public defender, and district attorney, and other attorneys with whom I have worked, not only for providing comments about me, but for serving the community every day. I'd like to thank my court family, Ms. Margaret Shaw Bent, Ms. Katie Baldwin, and Deputy Pierre Holyfield, the best judicial assistant, best court reporter, and best bailiff in the state of California. Thank you for the many years of service and friendship. I'd like to thank my wife's family, Miss Maria Lara, Hector Castañeda and his family, especially for providing the much-needed emotional support in these recent difficult times. To my family who could not be here today, my brother Matt, who is the best brother I could ever ask for, my dad, there was reference to my dad passing. He always reminded me to do the best with what I had. He was the first lawyer I ever met. I know he is looking down today, hopefully happy. And my mom, thank you to my mom who sacrificed everything for us by surviving internment at Manzanar. She inspired me to embark on a career of providing justice for all, especially the underrepresented and marginalized. My biggest thank you goes to the 3 bravest and smartest and loudest people I know, my wife and 2 sons. Yes, you too. Each day you keep me sharp, you give me strength and courage, and you make me a better version of myself. I dedicate each day of this next chapter of my career to you. Thank you all for attending. There will be a reception in the conference room. Please come join us. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, and congratulations again. Thank you.